Not at the things that are seen, but the things that are not seen. For the things that are seen are temporary, but the things that are not seen are eternal. Meaning that we got to look past the problem to the promise.
That's right. Come on.
We got to look past the problem to the answer. So when I look past the problem to the answer, my mouth now lines up with the answer.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, I like what Bill Winslow said today when he said that nowhere in the Bible does it say that we're to call ourselves sick. Nowhere in the Bible does it say we're to call ourselves poor. He said we should say what God said. Just like Jesus said what God said, we should say what Jesus said or what the Word said.
Right.
And I don't know about you, if you can find it in there where it tells you to confess that you're sick, please show it to me. You understand? Please show me, because I done went through it. I even went in the table of contents. I just can't find it. But so many of us are walking around talking about how bad it is. And I'm going to tell you something else. Even if you don't talk about the problem per se, if you talk about the result of the problem, you're still talking about the problem.
Yes, you are.
This is what it calls me to do. Well, you're still giving birth to the problem. You're still giving power to the problem. Do you see what I'm saying? I heard Gloria say, this was years ago when she first went, she had probably been in her school for about 10 years when they were 5 years old. But she said, sometimes it's good not to say nothing. She said, there were times when she was in pain, and she wanted to tell Kenny. Wanted to tell Kenny because she said, I want to tell him, but it was like the Spirit of God said, just don't say nothing. And she said she got quicker results that way.
That's right.
For some reason, misery loves company, so we want to tell somebody. We want to tell somebody what we're going through.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But now, you have to ask yourself, why am I telling them? Am I telling them so that they can pray for me? Am I telling them so that they'll know that I'm suffering? And am I telling them so I can have peace? I mean, you have to listen. You have to examine yourself. Why? What is my reasoning for telling them? Now, somebody praying for you, that's good, but you need to get to a place where you recognize that you don't have to depend on nobody else's prayer. You have to get to a place where you don't have to pray for healing.
That's right.
You confess that you heal.
That's right. Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? I don't have to pray for healing. I have to say, God, heal me, because He's already done it. What I have to do is appropriate it by faith. And the way I do that is through the Word. So I don't need to tell you that I'm going through some things, because all I have to do is, if I really believe that I'm healed, I'm going to confess the healing. Do you understand? I know. Now I'm not trying to hurt anybody or say anything, to be mean, but I'm telling you the truth.
Yes, you are.
If you're gonna get past the problem, you got to stop talking about the problem.
All right. That's right.
They stayed in the wilderness in the Old Testament because they talked about the wilderness. They murmured and complained about how bad they ain't have enough. They got food falling out of heaven, falling out the sky. I bet it tastes good, and they still complain. We want meat, and then God gave them so much meat it made them. but you understand what I'm saying? They murmured and complained, and that's what kept them out there. What was they murmuring and complaining about? The problem. When you murmur and complain, when you talk about the problem, you're telling God you ain't doing a good job. When you sit around and talk about how bad it is, I'm going to have to tell you. When you sit around and talk about the problem, you're telling God you're not doing a good job. You ain't taking care of me like you're supposed to. You haven't provided for me like you're supposed to, because I'm suffering. When your child come up to you and start complaining about they don't have no clothes or they don't have this, they're telling you, all right, it's time for you to make them do something, but you ain't doing a good job. That's what we telling God. He already said you already healed. So what you said, well, the healing that you provided ain't good enough because it ain't working.
Dangerous. Lord
Put it on your spiritual shelf if you got a problem with what I'm saying. And just let God reveal this to you. Because it has to become a revelation to you. It has to become in here. You have to get that light in here to understand it.
Yes.
We got to realize, if you want your life revolutionized, changed, you got to realize that it's already done. There's no need that we face that Jesus hasn't provided for. The problem is we get in fear. I'm guilty myself.
Yeah.
We get in fear. Some things come my way, man, it's like a breeze. You know, I'm standing up like a soldier. Okay? But then there are certain things similar to the other problem that I had come, and for some reason, there's a difficulty there. There's a difficulty there. So I have to preach to myself. Are you hearing what I'm saying, folks? Hey, Jesus. What y'all looking?
Concentrate.
What you call it, concentrate?
Yeah.
We hear you.
Absorbing what you're saying. Trying to get it in our heart.
All right, I want it in your heart.
There you go.
Now, in this spiritual battle, although we, like I say, live in a human body, we do not use human plans and methods to fight with. We are to use the weapons of God, which are available to us as we fight against the devil's stronghold. God's weapons are already available. You have access to them. Just like a soldier that's been trained in Uncle Sam's army have access to Uncle Sam, to the weapons that he's been trained to, we have access to the weapons of God. And there's no force, there's no problem, there's no situation that God's weapons can't defeat.